Hey guys, I'm a car YouTuber here in Japan with almost 500,000 subscribers, and last month I decided to quit YouTube. I know people need closure, so in this video let me tell you why. But first, because my baby's sleeping and it's quite late, let's go for a drive to my favorite place in the world, Daikoku Futo. See you guys there. Hey, I'm ALBO. I came to Japan as an English teacher, then moved near Tokyo to pursue my passions. I became a filmmaker because I love cars, Japanese culture, and a good story. I'm lucky enough to live the JDM dream, and so my videos are about my car life in Japan, where I go to car meets and visit shops, do track days and toge runs, build and review cars, and shoot vlogs, short films, and documentaries about Japan's car culture and history. Join me and my friends on our adventures and find out what it's really like in the land of the rising sun. So hop in, fasten your seatbelts, and enjoy the ride.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Before we keep talking, I want to show you a few of the new mods on the S2000. My favorite so far is the newly updated laser at the back of the wing, and also there's a laser on the ground, and these are new car shop glow taillights. So anyways, we have those mods. There's also these evasive carbon mirrors. Alright guys, so we are now here at Daikoku Futo, the center of car culture here in Japan, and it just so happens to be like 20 minutes away from my house, so I'm always here. I'm here like 2 or 3 times a week, often running my JDM experience, which I'll talk about a little bit later. So as a car YouTuber, you would think I've got the perfect setup. I've got all the content I could possibly film here. So in this video, I'll explain the 3 factors that contributed to my decision to quitting YouTube. And keep in mind, this was after I decided to go full-time with YouTube last year, and then actually ended up only releasing a handful of videos. I really hope this video gives you guys perspective on what it's like to be a creator trying to turn it into an actual business, all while being a new dad. I'll also tell you guys about my plans moving forward. But first, let's go grab a snack from the convenience. By the way, if you're new to this channel, my name is ALBO. I'm a creator here in Japan, and I'm a new dad as well. I'm actually originally from Toronto, Canada, and I've lived here in Japan for 14 years now. I've mostly made videos about car culture and my life here in Japan. Tonight I'm feeling like some good old-fashioned cup noodles. Sick. Alright, story time. So in this video, we're gonna jump back and forth chronologically because I feel like I owe it to longtime viewers of the channel to catch you guys up on what's been happening since I've uploaded a video and give you guys context since I decided to go full-time with YouTube and how that decision has affected my life. So last summer, my beautiful son was born, and I decided to take an extended leave of absence from work for childcare. And because of the fast-paced nature of my job, I left my role with no guarantee that there would actually be a position for me to come back to. So this isn't good because even though my Japanese is pretty decent in casual settings, full-on business Japanese is still a bit difficult for me. But I took the extended leave of absence anyways, and at least we had a little bit of money coming in from childcare benefits so that I could spend the next year to try to make this YouTube thing work. The idea was that I would try to use this 1 year to try to figure out YouTube as a business and see if we could actually make it profitable and sustainable in the long run. And that brings me to the first thing. Parenting is a full-time job. Alright guys, this looks about done, and by the way, I feel like I'm making great use of my carbon fiber table. This is great. Alright, let's give these classic cup noodles a try. That really hits the spot. So I had initially assumed that I would be able to work on my YouTube business 12 to 16 hours a day while my wife took care of the baby. The very first thing I learned almost immediately is that keeping a little human being alive is a full-time job. Actually, it's not even a full-time job. It's like a 24/7 marathon. Being a new parent is both the most wonderful thing ever, but it's also the most exhausting thing I've ever experienced in my life. It also turns out that right when you have a newborn baby is probably not the best time to start a company, but I went ahead and did it anyway. It was a huge win actually, because now I'm the CEO of my own company, ALBO Corporation, which is pretty crazy, and honestly it feels really cool to be a CEO, at least on paper. But that was just the beginning. Oh, hang on. Oh yes, spoon. Like I was saying, starting a company was just the beginning, and there was so much more to it than I anticipated. It was really difficult, and everything was like in Japanese, so it was a real challenge and really pushed me to the edge of my ability. But oh man, like I said, the first half a year of being a new dad was incredibly exhausting. It was just one continuous blur of sleepless nights and endless diaper changes. And as a lot of dads who work from home can attest, you end up having to do so much around the house when you're not at the office. So somehow work-life balance becomes really blurry and doesn't really even exist. So in the end, because we had at least some money coming in from childcare benefits, at the beginning, most of my energy and attention went toward being a new dad and associated family duties. Honestly, I felt like this was a really critical time to support my wife and newborn baby. I felt like every day my son was evolving like a Pokemon, and if I blinked or look away, I would miss something important. But not just that. Come here, let me tell you guys something. Actually, beyond the challenges that I've been facing, having a kid has been really tough on my wife, both physically and mentally. And as much as I tried to juggle everything every day, I was actually failing or just doing a really bad job at it. So I really want to say, I'm really sorry to my wife for burdening her with so much while I tried to work on this YouTube dream. I love you, baby. Alright, before this gets too heavy, let's throw this out and walk around and check out some cars. There's a whole bunch of cars that are parked over there because it's too packed here. So let's go check those out. I love these little things. Got some drifty boys over here. Black and white Supra. I love these cars now. I feel like they're much cooler than GTRs. Oh, I'm in love with these two Zs. Really like carbon fiber bonnet on this. This Z looks insane. I love the vented fenders and the vented hood. This looks absolutely sick. Needs more bumper. This is exactly what I would like to do. This is insane. This might be an FB RX-7. But cut racer style with this massive ducktail. And look at the hood, so many louvers. This is so cool. Sick S2000. My buddy. So we moved the S2000 over here beside my friend with the other S2000. Yes, SDK bros. 포르쉐 めっちゃかっこいいですね。やばい。Oh, it looks so good with the lights on both of the cars. My friend's S2000, it's an AP1, but it has the AP2 taillights, and the bumper is Aang's and K1 Lab ducktail. That's a Cusco wing, apparently. I've never seen it in person. Varus front fenders. I think these add 15 millimeters. So I was heavily considering these, especially because you can get them with this really cool carbon piece that goes over here. These are craft square mirrors, vented hood as well. Amuse front. Amis. Very cool. I really love how with the S2000 you have so many different options and how you want to build it. You can leave it completely stock and that's fine, or you can go kind of crazy like we did, and you can just really enjoy your cars any way that you like. Off to go street racing. Wow, that sea is amazing. So many Z's out tonight. What was I doing again? Making a video about how I'm gonna quit YouTube? Anyways, I want to continue the rest of my story and fill you guys in on what happened. So the second thing that happened was that I started feeling like I was putting my family online for not really a good reason. The catalyst for this realization was at the end of last year, out of nowhere, I kind of became the subject of this firestorm on Japanese Twitter. A picture was shared that looked like I was blocking traffic at Akihabara. Now, of course, I would never do something like that. I was just stopped while there was a bunch of people walking in front and somebody took a picture. But regardless of the actual truth, thousands of Japanese Twitter users started attacking me and trying to dox me. And they were actually trying to cancel me like here in Japan. They're trying to like find my employment status and stuff like that. The whole thing was so annoying and it was incredibly blown out of proportion. But it was kind of an eye-opener for me, to be honest. Now, if you want to read my response to the whole thing and read about how the whole thing went down, you can check out this Instagram post over here and you can read all about it. But beyond that, a bunch of people were saying that they know where I live, they've seen my car, their neighborhood, and this was really making me reconsider how much of my family life I was putting out online. The stress from this episode actually made me really sick for a few weeks, and actually I got pretty depressed for a while. This was kind of like a dark period of my life, and I'm quite thankful to all my friends who actually stuck by with me while the firestorm passed. There's a real difficulty when it comes to trying to incorporate your family life into your videos, especially when it involves your family moments. So because of that incident, I decided to private a lot of my videos and the content that had my wife and my son in it. After the drama with the whole Japanese Twitter thing, I really started to rethink family vlog type content, and even though I shot a lot of videos, I couldn't bring myself to edit a lot of them. But anyway, for regular viewers who followed me for this long, I really feel like I can't just leave you guys hanging. So before I tell you about the third thing, let me catch you guys up with a montage about the past few months. So this catches us up back to the last video when I went to Canada for the holidays in December, and I was finally able to recharge by seeing my friends and family again after 4 long years. In the last video, you saw how I was able to check out Toronto's car culture with a car meet hosted at Kotowari Collective. I threw another meet in the Toronto area suburbs of Markham and Richmond Hill. I met tons of cool enthusiasts who kept encouraging me to keep going and helped me understand that my content is important for a lot of people, especially the folks who have family lives already. I realized that my channel is one of their only windows into Japan. It was so cool to talk to everyone and see everyone's cars that were kind enough to come out. We also collected a ton of toys for my toy drive. As we stood in that frozen parking lot at 11 p.m, my heart felt warm, and I remembered, yeah, these are my people and this is why I was doing YouTube. Over the next few days, I spent some family time taking my son to see some museums and stuff, and a couple days later, I went back to Kotowari and got a full tour of their shop. This was extremely inspiring for me because it made me think, I want to have a place like this in Japan, a creative space for me and my business partners, for my friends, for people to drop by and for fans to come visit. We also took the Kotowari cars out on a Santa run and delivered a ton of the toys we had collected from the car meets I hosted to the local police station. That has been one of my favorite experiences. It felt so good to literally give back to the community. The rest of my trip was spent enjoying the Christmas holidays with my best friends and my family, saying goodbye, then hopping on a plane back to Japan, and then spending a few days with my in-laws to celebrate New Year's in Japan. After that, January was freaking busy as hell. I had one of the biggest opportunities of my life. The work I did as a producer for the Disney Hulu show led to Hoonigan hiring me as a consultant, and not only that, but both my S2000 and Forester SDI were featured in 2 separate and extremely awesome videos. I mean, how cool were those collabs? I also got my Fuji Speedway license and started racing the S2000 at Fuji Speedway. This was one of the coolest experiences of my life so far. There were also tons of car meets, and I tried to go to as many as I could. So over the past few months, I filmed a ton of stuff, but I also felt like until I released this video and at least somewhat wrapped up the Canada arc, I couldn't edit everything else that came after. But with so much going on in my home life as a dad, it eventually began to feel like a bit too much. Like I just couldn't get ahead of everything, at least from the last few months. Actually getting kind of late, so I need a coffee to stay awake. Let's get our favorite. Can never get enough of this song, even though I've heard it thousands of times. Right. That sucks. Sick GC8. Wow, look at this NA2 NSX. Even has CE28 wheels. This is amazing. Wide fenders as well. Oh my gosh. Really hope he gets his rotary problem sorted. Man, today is just like a full-on car show. This might be the best night of the year so far. Alright, let me continue my story for a little bit. Things were kind of starting to look up for the channel, but the thing is, I just couldn't find time to edit. And honestly, back home, things were getting a little bit rough. Felt like my wife was really struggling because she had to take care of the baby a lot while I was working on trying to set up this business. So I would often be out and about, going out and filming and doing consultations. And I would actually be filming a ton of stuff, but I just wouldn't have the time to edit it. The thing was, on the business side, things kept moving faster and faster as well. There were a lot of non-video related things that I had to do, like search for and hire accountants. And when I could finally unplug for a bit, I tried to just spend my time with my family. But with so many tasks just piling up, I began to feel like it was just a little bit too much. Like I couldn't get ahead of it all. And then about a month ago, everything just ground to a halt. So one day at the gym, I severely injured my neck. So I had a pinched nerve and I decided to do squats. And I not just aggravated it, but I slipped a disc in my neck. And honestly, it was really bad, guys. Like, I seriously thought I might be paralyzed. It was really scary. Like, there were points where I could not move a single millimeter in any direction without this terrible stabbing pain in my neck. Let's get a view from up here. Still lively. So what happened was, after I got my neck injury, I spent days on the floor just lying there and pondering my existence, wondering if I was even gonna actually recover fully. It was like that bad. And until this point, I was starting to kind of like hate myself for just not being able to really get things moving, and I was being really hard on myself. I felt like I was sabotaging myself by either not staying up until 4 a.m. to edit and also not being able to spend every waking moment with my son. But for around a week, I literally could not move like at all. I couldn't do any work. I was utterly useless and I felt pathetic. But also, in a way, I felt like this was kind of like the universe's way of forcing me to just stop and take a break. Honestly, to just try to figure out a better equation to this whole YouTube business idea thing. And this brings me to the third factor. So the math of my channel just simply wasn't working. I've talked about this a bunch in previous videos, but let me be a little bit more transparent this time. Basically, I was trading a 9-to-5 job for a 24/7 job that paid way less. And the thing is, since I came to Japan and started my YouTube journey, I had always done it as kind of like a side hustle with the intent that someday it would be a stepping stone to something bigger. But because I always had a quote-unquote real job, I felt like I could always justify the amount of time, energy, and effort it would take, even though when I broke it down, I could basically make more money working at McDonald's. But last year, when I decided to go full-time with YouTube and try to take it seriously as a job, when I took into account the amount of time I was taken away from spending time with my family and watching my son grow, it just wasn't feeling worth it anymore. So the question is, like, why didn't I hire an editor? Well, kind of the simple reality is that most of my videos didn't get enough views to actually even break even with hiring a good editor. For example, like the last video actually only made like 150 bucks, and that took me like 8 hours to edit. What many YouTubers I think have to come to terms with is that unless you're getting like millions of views a month, it's not a sustainable way to make a living. I think the only way to make it sustainable is with like merch or Patreon, or like some combination that doesn't rely on YouTube AdSense. You guys know I've been trying to get my merch going for a while. There was a point like a year ago that it was going pretty well actually, but last year, to be honest, I had so many issues and frustrations with my merch partner. It's not just on them. A lot of it was like me as well. I think I had a lot of issues even personally that I had to work through as well, and in the end, like it didn't really work out. By the end of the year, I just kind of wanted to throw in the towel with that whole operation and start over. So over the past few months, actually the hunters.com site went down and it just came back up as the hunters.jp. Whoa, 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 look at this. Okay, this is the wildest 86 kit I've ever seen. This is literally crazy. Holy crap. Wow. Alright guys, let's start heading back to the car over there. Perfect. Beautiful stock FD. Forest green NSX with bronze C28s. This is pretty close to perfect spec. Wow. So actually the thing is, after I started my company, we were actually making pretty decent money, not from videos, but from me doing consulting and some collaborations like the one I did with Pirelli and Hoonigan. And also like my JDM experience has been really popping. And if you guys don't know what it is, it's basically when I take fans like yourself to places like here, like Daikoku, checking out some of the spots like famous car shops like Spoon and ASM, and sometimes we even go to Toge. So yeah, basically I take people around with me to experience my lifestyle, my life here in Japan. If you're interested, send me a DM. Just look me up on Instagram, ALBO.media. I'll send you the details on the DM. I'll personally send them to you. All right, back into the car, guys. All right. Let's close the reflection. It's getting cold now. So I remember a week into my neck injury, I was thinking like, since we're actually making money with the consulting and my JDM experiences are going really well, and since I could actually promote my merch on my Instagram as well, it made me think, what am I doing making vlogs on YouTube that take me so long to edit and that only make a couple $100s in views? Honestly, it made me feel like I'm doing YouTube wrong. Like in 2024, maybe the vlog format is just not feasible anymore. Like maybe I should be doing a lot more YouTube shorts or Instagram reels. Well, I definitely should. And it also made me think, maybe I'm just not as watchable as I think. And so I thought, well, you know what? I've been hovering around like 500,000 subs for like half a year now, and I just can't break it, even though it's like the last 1,000 subs. I felt like maybe I should just quit. And so I did. One day I was just like, you know what? I quit. And in my mind, I was like, yeah, I guess I'm done with YouTube. And for a few days, I actually felt kind of lighter. Okay, hang on. We'll keep driving and we'll get some shots in. And I'll finish this once we get back home. So while we're driving, let me narrate some additional thoughts I had, which I actually didn't talk about in the next section. I think when I said I quit YouTube in the last clip, it sounded a bit nonchalant, but I really did feel like I wanted to quit being a creator, or at least quit being a car YouTuber based in Japan. I think I had kind of reached a breaking point that had been bubbling up for a while, where I was feeling like I was kind of spinning my wheels and at the same time trying to juggle too many plates at once. So maybe even as a thought experiment, I wanted to know how I really felt about the idea of quitting YouTube and what that meant. Did it mean that I stopped making regular videos? Did I stop vlogging? Did I abandon the channel altogether? See, in principle, I hate the idea of giving up, but I felt like I had to explore that decision just a little bit. And this decision wasn't something I was taking lightly because for the past 10 years, YouTube has been such a big part of my life. Being a part of the car culture in Japan has been an even more core part of my life. But it was also kind of getting to a point where I was wondering how much I loved both of these things, or if it was something I was continuing to tell myself that I loved. Maybe there was something I'm more passionate about pursuing in terms of content, or in terms of a different type of business altogether. Eventually, I realized that if the channel was growing and the views were there, I would want to continue, but when it really got down to it, I think it was primarily just the lack of success in those metrics which I was experiencing and that I was continuing to face for over half a year that was really beating down my motivation to continue. That combined with the success of the consulting side of my business and my trading experiences was making me feel like maybe I should just quit making YouTube videos and refocus my energy. Alright guys, so back home now. Yeah, like I said, in my mind, I quit. And then, just a few days later, I started really missing my camera and the idea of like creating videos. I missed the idea of making videos that I want to make. And so what I did was I started watching tons of videos about how to be successful on YouTube in 2024. And one of the best pieces of advice I actually got was from interviews with Mr. Beast, where he said, it's easier to get one video to hit 5 million views than to make 100 videos that get 50,000 views each.
It's much easier to get 5 million views on one video than 50,000 views on 100 videos. It takes way less effort to get 5 million views in one video.
And that really resonated with me. That kind of really made sense. Maybe look back on the videos that I made in the past that really blew up and really pushed the channel forward. And basically my neck injury made me realize that I missed being creative with my videos, planning shots, planning a story, and letting my creativity lead me to the best videos that I could make. Like no matter how long they take or how much effort they require. I realized when I make videos that I want to make, I can just keep going. I can keep working late into the night and actually gain energy, not lose it. Like this video was super fun to shoot and it's 2:52 in the morning right now, but I'm still going and still having a good time. Like my injury made me realize I love telling long form stories on YouTube. I like it much more than making short form content on like Instagram. And like while I was injured, I got to thinking about all these ways I could run my business. I realized none of them seemed as fun as building a business centered around my passions. Like my passion for car culture, for shooting videos, and like making designs for like my merch. So after quitting YouTube, all I could think about was YouTube. So while recovering from my injury, I made a new plan. So moving forward, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to personally focus on bigger videos, on more of a banger videos that only I can really make, like the roulette Zoku video or interviews with interesting people. My conclusion is that probably right now I've got the bandwidth for maybe 1, maybe 2 videos a month. But also on the flip side, I think I realized I love being on camera and kind of like being the star of like my own show. So I'm gonna aim for maybe 1 video a week that follows my personal journey. And these videos are gonna be edited by my best friend Chris, who, if you guys haven't met yet, let me introduce him right now. He's my best friend and we've been doing stuff together for many years.
Hey guys, so it's been a while, but you might recognize me from some of ALBO's videos in the past when I was spending a lot of my time in Japan, and I've also throughout the last couple of years also been editing some videos here and there for ALBO as well. So just a little bit more background on myself. Me and ALBO go back more than, let's say, 20 years. We met back in high school. Some people could say it was friendship at first sight. He's in the gym, just lifting some weights, and I saw that guy and I was like, I think we can become best friends. But seriously, we kind of just hit it off right away. Like we just both had an interest in anime, martial arts, breakdancing, and it just, our passions kind of always gone in the same direction. And of course that extends to Japan as well, because we've just both love the idea of Japan, the culture, the food, the anime from movies. It's just, it doesn't really stop. And he finally gave me my opportunity to come to Japan and spend 2 months there with him. And it was some of the best months of my life. And I can't wait to go back. And that's kind of the idea. I'm going to be going back there more frequently, helping him film, edit, and also creating more content for myself as well for my channel. But I think the idea is that we just both have such a love for Japan that it just makes a lot of sense. So here I am. I'm going to be editing for him. I'm going to be doing a lot more content with him. And yeah, so you're going to be just seeing a lot more of me. And of course, I have a channel of my own that is called Chris Coelho, and it's all about anime, but I am now kind of restructuring it to be more about anime in Japanese culture. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of that, and that's also kind of my road in wanting to go spend more time in Japan, to be helping ALBO with editing, filming, going on adventures, doing all that, documenting everything, creating vlogs, also growing my own channel, but of course helping him grow his as well. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of me coming, and I'm really excited to be helping ALBO and get everything going and just growing the channel. It's going to be a lot of changes, but in a good way, because me and ALBO have a lot of plans moving forward, especially once I get over to Japan. So let's start making things happen. And now let's throw it back to ALBO.
Alright guys, so like Chris said, I hope you're excited, and I hope you guys finally understand a little bit more about what it's been like for me, you know, the past half a year or so trying to make this work. It's been really tough, and your support is really what's going to make it feasible for us to continue on this journey and for Chris to come to Japan to help me film and edit. Now, I know I said the videos don't make enough money to justify an editor, but I think if those views lead to some merch sales, I think the math can work. Now, after my merch operation kind of fell apart last year, I spent the past few months kind of just researching and searching for a partner to work with, and I think I finally found them. I feel really great about both the quality and the turnaround time. And I want to be completely transparent with you guys. For now, my merch on thehunters.jp is going to be dropship, which means as soon as you guys place an order, it's going to be made and sent out to you guys within 3 days. And it's going to be sent to you guys from our production partner in America. Now, international shipping might take a little bit longer, like a couple weeks, but when I've ordered samples, it's only taken about 7 days to get here. Now, it's going to allow me to be able to provide you guys with all these different colors and sizes right away. And in the future, I'll be able to understand what kind of stuff I'm going to produce. For example, this is our newest drop. This is the newest version of our Night Drives Good Vibes hoodie. You can see quality is great. The print in the back is actually bigger than before, and I've just been wearing this thing non-stop. I love this hoodie. Yeah, we're bringing back the Night Drives Good Vibes hoodies. I know you guys love these, so pick them up. The hoodie itself feels super great. It's very high quality, and the print looks really good, and it's really high quality. The only thing is we have to stop doing like the hem tag, but the good news is that aside from that, the quality is better than it's ever been, and we've actually been able to drop the price while offering way more colors and sizes and getting with a way faster turnaround time than before. Shipping's gonna be cheaper too. So I'm gonna need your guys' help moving forward with trying to get this to the next level. And if you want to cheer us on in this journey, please order some merch. We're going to be releasing new designs on thehunters.jp at least once a month, and your orders will go directly to the video editing budget and also to consumables like tires and other stuff we need to produce these videos, like gas. In the next video, I'll show you guys exactly how many orders that this video drove to give you guys an idea of how much your support helps. Alright, last thing. Since I recovered from my injury, a ton of stuff has happened. I actually have hair now underneath this, which I'll talk about more in future videos, but I also have another announcement. It was my birthday, and I'm now in my mid-30s, and I'm using this occasion to embark on a new journey. I won't tell you guys what car it is yet. If you've been following me on Instagram, you might have seen some hints here and there, but basically I bought a new car for my birthday, and it's gonna be for drifting. Now I'm in my mid to late 30s, and I personally have no idea if I'm too old to learn how to drift, and so it's kind of crazy that I just put a big chunk of our company's earnings to invest into this project car. But you know what? I've always wanted to do this, and I hope you guys will support me as I start this new journey of trying to become one of the only Filipino descent drifters here in Japan. I know it's a big dream, and I honestly have no idea if I can even get decent, but I'm hoping I'll be able to learn from some really good teachers like Sayaka, like Arisa, like Sam, all the people around me who already have a ton of experience with drifting. I've been following the world of underground drifting for like over 10 years since I first started my Drift Hunter project, and I really think it's time to hop in the car and just try myself. Alright, so thank you guys for watching all the way to the end of this video if you've made it this far. I honestly struggled for a long time with making this This is like my third time actually trying to shoot this video, and basically I tried to kind of make up for the past few months of not releasing any videos. And yeah, I'm sorry for not being able to keep up with just the channel. Honestly, I was feeling like a failure and a bit of an imposter, like I was not succeeding with my goal to do YouTube full time, and I really felt like giving up. And maybe for a few days, I guess I did, and I guess I quit YouTube for a few days. But you know what, thanks to all your guys' encouragement, especially all the folks who I met during my JDM experiences who told me that they were really inspired by my videos, and all the people I met at like Daikoku and all the folks I met back in Canada, when I think about it, it pushes me to give it another try. Honestly, I thought this journey would be a lot smoother by now. I thought we would be really taken off, but it's a bit of a struggle, but still hanging in there at least. I hope my journey encourages you guys and shows you what it's like when you're really in the thick of trying to make a new business work and you have a new baby. I hope one day we'll be able to look back on this video and be like, it's gonna be alright. We made it. So thank you guys. I'm grateful for everyone who's been part of my journey up until now, and I'll keep working hard to keep bringing you guys more content to show you what life is like here in Japan as a car enthusiast. And I'm going to keep trying to build my business so that hopefully it can provide opportunities not just for myself and my close friends, but everyone else I meet along my journey who decides to be part of it with me. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.